Thank you, Professor Tommy. Since I was assigned as the Minister of Public Works about 8 years ago, our vision is to provide reliable public works and human settlement infrastructure to support Indonesia prosper by 2025. The biggest challenges for me as the Minister of Public Works, among others, are as follows. Indonesia is spatially composed of more than 17,000 islands, which are divided into 33 provinces, about 400 districts and municipalities. In terms of population, with a population of more than 277 million people, Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world. Culturally, it is composed of more than 300 ethnic groups scattered throughout the region. Almost 60% of the population resides in the island Java alone, which is only account of 7% of the total area. At the moment, about 52% of its population resides in urban areas. This number is estimated to increase up to 65% by 2025, primarily in 16 large and metropolitan cities. Second, Indonesia now is experiencing rapid urbanization, which is not only create various social and economic problems, but also environmental challenges and degradation due to the land use change and deforestation. There are as many as 25 new towns have been developed surrounding Jakarta alone, which triggers urban sprawl phenomenon that has been creating greater demand for commuting transport, higher density housing, and sufficiently supplied infrastructure. Third, the scale and magnitude of water resources, road, bridges, as well as human settlement infrastructure to be managed and maintained under the Ministry of Public Works are huge. And this is not an easy task to distribute the available resources among the regions. Technically, our ministry looks after more than 7.2 million hectares of irrigation area, about 38,000 kilometers long of national road, 340 local companies for drinking water, and manage 378 regional solid waste dumping area. On the other hand, we have very limited budget to be allocated throughout the region and across various sectors and among different activities. The total budget allocated for the ministry is not enough to maintain the available infrastructure asset. The challenge here is how to allocate the budget efficiently and effectively to make sure that the surface level of the infrastructure is maintained in the steady condition. Next, the globalization and decentralization era. In our political landscape, the role of infrastructure is very, very important to maintain our global competitiveness, as well as to maintain our local connectivity and unity throughout the country. This is certainly another burden to our ministry to make sure that every single part of our country should effectively connected and sufficiently accessible, particularly for remote areas such as the national border areas or small and outer islands. Now, this is a very difficult question about the success story. It is not really easy to measure the success and achievement, but institutionally, we have set up several major indicators to measure our achievement in performing our tasks and duty in maintaining the Indonesia public work infrastructure. First is how the infrastructure could maintain the economic growth by providing the necessary accessibility and mobility for freight and people movements. Secondly, is how our infrastructure development could increase the prosperity of our community through property elevation, job creation, reduce disparity and isolation, improve community empowerment. Thirdly, is how our infrastructure development do not adversely impact the environment, particularly through the introduction of green construction, spatial plan-based development, and try to adapt to the climate change. In this way, we hope that our infrastructure development could maintain the balance between pro-job, pro-growth, pro-poor, and pro-green objectives. Some of the success that we have achieved during the period include, among others, as follows. Enactment of all levels of spatial planning. Those are national spatial planning, island spatial planning, provincial, district, and municipality spatial planning, and also special areas spatial planning based on Spatial Planning Act number 28, 2007. Green Cities program as an incentive to promote the provision of green open space 30% in urban areas as well as sustainable development. Urban slum upgrading program, which is set up to eradicate poverty, provide basic infrastructure, access to safe drinking water, to our low-income neighborhood.